Hello folks, it's almost 8 o'clock, so we'll just wait a moment or two and let everybody join us that's going to be able to join us this evening. If you're watching live, please say hello in the live chat. Makes me know that this is working okay and that you're actually with me. I see we're now up to 5 viewers. Now hopefully that will increase. It's now 8 o'clock. The witching hour has begun. So hopefully the numbers will increase and people who don't tune in tonight can tune in at a later date. Now, I hope everybody is watching tonight that has requested a hymn or two. The first hymn choice tonight is from a Bellshill Central member. That person is Jeanette Young. In fact, Jeanette has 2 items tonight. Her first song is All My Hope on God is Founded. Words are by Robert Bridges, but they're based on words by Joachim Neander. It's set to 2 tunes in our hymn book. Grosvenor is the tune which I know it set to, and Grosvenor goes a bit like this. I think Jeanette prefers the other tune, and I can see the live chat is coming alive. Andrew and Elspeth have both managed to tune in and say a hello. The tune for All My Hope in God is Founded, which we're going to use tonight, is the tune Michael, written by Herbert Norman Howells. It's a beautiful tune. It doesn't have any last verse arrangements because it doesn't need any. So now we have All My Hope on God is Founded, all 5 verses to the tune of Michael. And because we're live tonight, the words can't go up and down the screen. So in the box below, you'll find a link to the hymn sheet, if you wish to call it that. Enjoy the first hymn. Hopefully, this is working. Moving on to our second pre-requested hymn tonight, we have another Bellshill Central member, Alexa Walker. Alexa has requested some hymns recently, and this particular one I believe she heard on Songs of Praise. And she liked it so much that she requested it be included in an Organist Entertains. The hymn which Alexa has requested, if I find it, is the hymn Leaning on the Everlasting Arms. Yes, there we go. Leaning on the Everlasting Arms, hymn text by Elisha Hoffman and a tune by Anthony Showalter of 1887. So Alexa, here we have your hymn choice tonight, Leaning on the Everlasting Arms. Thank you, Alexa, for that lovely hymn choice tonight. Now, whilst I compose myself and look up the next hymn choice, we'll introduce our next hymn, which has been requested by my boss, Kathy Bryden. It's one of two hymns that she recently requested, and I have to be honest, I forgot about this one. Now that I found it in the book. And this is the thing about going out live. I don't have time to fix the mistakes, look up all the music so that you don't see all the thumbing through. So, fingers crossed it's all going okay. Hello to Tony, who's said hi in the live chat, and to our friend down in Tweedbank, Sheila. A big hello to you too. And I hope you've managed to finish up your washing. The hymn, requested by Kathy Bryden, who's the clerk to the board here at Bellshill Central, which is why she's my boss, is I the Lord of sea and sky. Words from Isaiah 6, and words and music by Daniel Schutt. Thank you, Kathy, for requesting I, the Lord of Sea and Sky. And since a choir member or two has now popped up in the live chat, it made me chuckle that when we get to the chorus here in Bellshill, sometimes the choir don't always sing the correct rhythm. Here. The choir quite often sing. And I have been known to stop and fix it before moving on. However, that's just a slight thought for Bellshill Central. Hello, John. I didn't actually have any birthday cake yesterday, so there's none left, because there was none to begin with. I'll perhaps have to mention that once I'm home. Our next hymn choice tonight is an old favourite. It's in CH4 as hymn number 509. And for those of you who are following along on the hymn sheet, know exactly what's coming next. It's been requested by my mum, Mary Matthew, probably because it's got an interesting alto line in it, as opposed to the do, 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 ti, do, which alto lines quite often have. And I know that Elspeth Dornan is going to make a comment on that. It's to the tune of St Andrew by Edward Henry Thorne, and the words are by Cecil Francis Alexander. Jesus calls us o'er the tumult of our lives while restless to see. That's 5 verses, hopefully, but it does go quite quickly. We have some chat going on, and yes, Elspeth, I do know the altars rather well. And Anne, Guy, keep tuning in until the end, and you will see a hymn which is well loved by you. The next hymn tonight has been requested by Andrew MacLeod. It's not a hymn which is in our hymn books. There's a version of it in Mission Praise, but it's not this lovely version which we're about to have tonight. It's a hymn based on words from Isaiah chapter 43 and Luke chapter 6. The music is by Bob Dufford. It's the hymn Be Not Afraid. A beautiful, beautiful hymn. And apologies, I am obviously aging disgracefully and now have a set of reading glasses because varifocals don't work particularly well when you're playing the organ. You almost feel as if you're playing with a creak in your neck. So, apologies for some duff notes that may come up because the music is a bit on the small side. Be Not Afraid, requested by our friend Andrew MacLeod. Isn't that a lovely hymn? If you weren't able to look up the words tonight, look them up afterwards. They really are quite comforting. Before we move on to the next item tonight, I thought I'd play something for you. We're almost back to church here at Bellshill Central, so I'm going to have to get used to playing some music as people gather or the offering, when it happens, is collected. One of the pieces of music which I really do quite like is an item which, when I find it, is known to many. It's Handel's Largo. And hopefully this will get some thumbs up in the live chat, because I'm sure it's something which we all like to hear. You may have to turn up the volume a bit, because some of it is really, really quite quiet. hopefully you were able to hear the quiets and the louds of that lovely piece of music. Now back to our requests. And while I'm looking up, I can see some people chatting away. Andrew, the piece of the hymn that I am thinking of is "Do Not Be Afraid, for I Have Redeemed You," that's in Mission Praise, which is familiar to us and is a version of "Be Not Afraid." Keeping with you, Andrew, we have our next item. It is from a book which Andrew introduced me to, the New Scottish Hymns with words and music from the Psalms and other pieces of scripture, with modern, perhaps a Celtic theme or feel to them. Andrew's hymn choice is "Were I to cross from land to land and sail afar by sea, descend the depths or climb the heights, my Lord remains with me." It's words from Psalm 139, and I know that that is a favourite psalm of Sheila Miller. So thank you, Andrew, for introducing me and everyone else to the music from the New Scottish Hymnal, with words and music by Greg de Black. "Were I to cross from land to land." And Andrew, if this sounds okay on the organ, give us a thumbs up in the chat. I should have said, after we have verse 1 and verse 2, we have an interlude in between. And if you listen online, it's got some lovely acoustic sounds of some drums and acoustic guitars and lots of rhythm devices. So hopefully, Andrew, that was okay for you. And Sheila Miller has just said that no, she didn't actually know this one, but thought it was rather nice. So, Andrew, we have someone who has been introduced to and likes the music from the new Scottish hymnal. Now, back to the hymn books. And not moving far from Jesus Calls Us or the Tumult, we find ourselves with our next hymn. And I have to say that this particular hymn was a bit of an arch nemesis of mine, and hopefully that has now all gone. Thy hand, O God, has guided thy flock from age to age. Or the new words we have in our hymn book, your hand, O God, has guided your flock from age to age. The tune is Thornbury, written by Basil Harwood. And for some reason, my little head doesn't always like Thornbury. And I remember playing in a church in the south side of Glasgow, and a soprano who is known to many of us here at Bellshill Central, Betty Patrick, she came to me and she said, "It's a wonder you don't have blood running down your face, because you've sat with your tongue between your teeth and you've dug deep with concentration playing that last hymn," which was, of course, Thornbury. So, this has been requested by Janet Young, a member here at Bellshill Central. Thy hand, O God, has guided your flock from age to age, with the refrain at the end of each verse: one church, one faith, one Lord. that is the Maestro's arch nemesis, Thornbury. And we say hello to Riris and Hugh, who joined us slightly late, but nonetheless are enjoying the live version. And the live version is different, because obviously I need to think on my feet, introducing the items, etc., and do my best not to make too many mistakes. Now, we now pay a visit to the borders, to a village called Tweedbank, to Sheila Miller. And while I'm looking up, Sheila could perhaps say hello in the live chat, just to make sure that she's still with us watching. Now, what I am noticing, and this is something which unfortunately we just have to deal with, if you're watching this on the big TV screen, you probably won't have the option to say hello and chat along with us. You'll have to use another device. I don't think there's a way to do that on a television. So hopefully, Sheila, you're finished with your dishes and you're ready for your tune, your choice tonight. And I'm just going to give it a little second or two. Yes, Sheila, you're here. Your final hymn choice from the list you sent a few weeks ago is Sing with the King who is coming to reign. With the wonderful chorus, come let us sing praise to our King. Jesus our King, Jesus our King, this is our song, who to Jesus belong. Glory to Jesus our King. And Elspeth, don't you worry your little cotton socks. I've just spotted your message. The reason that you can't see the 400 last verses, because it is there, but it's actually open at one of the items that I'm going to use tonight. So it is coming out to play. And I'm just going to make sure it's looked up at the right spot, because I noticed it wasn't. Now, this hymn is so good it doesn't need a last verse. So let's all enjoy Sheila's song. Words by Charles Sylvester Horn and music by Charles Hutchinson Gabriel. Sing We the King, or the Glory Song. enjoyed that, Sheila. And I know that Tony, you requested that a couple of weeks back, so hopefully you enjoyed it once more. One of the things about playing for the organist entertains, because there's nobody singing along with you, sometimes you forget which verse you're on, which is easily fixable, if that's a phrase, when this has been done pre-recorded. So hopefully I've not missed any verses out tonight or added any extra on. We are approaching the hour mark that I see. However, I always did say that if this went out live, we would take some requests. And my mum has sent in a request, not through YouTube, but straight to me. I think she thinks she's got the direct line, a little bit like the Americans had to the Kremlin. She seems to think that she can get whatever she wants. Now, all that said and done, she usually does get her way. And Elspeth, I know that you're watching, you can attain to that. So she's requested a hymn. At the name of Jesus, every knee shall bow, every tongue confess him, King of glory now. I know that she likes it to the tune of Camberwell, and I know that she likes it from Mission Praise because there are 6 verses. So because this is an extra, and if anybody wishes to ask in the chat for an extra, you can do that because we're coming to the end and there is time for a couple more if you wish. The words aren't going to be on your hymn sheet, nor are they going to be on the screen. So you're going to have to look up Mission Praise number 41 if you have it at home, so that you can follow along with the words. All 6 verses. Yes, 6 verses, Mum, just for you. At the name of Jesus, every knee shall bow, to the tune of Camberwell. had a modulation in the last verse. In fact, I don't think it could musically be called a modulation. It just simply got a swift kick up the backside from the key of C to the key of D. Now, John Hume has commented saying that this was the first new tune that he remembered learning at Sanquhar St Bride's many, many years ago. And because I like it, and because it's been selected, we're going to have, at the name of Jesus, just 2 verses to the alternative tune of Evelyn's. I think it's lovely. Just something lovely about that tune, isn't there? Now, Andrew, I have seen your request. However, it means going into my emails and downloading it, and I'm not wanting to tempt fate by putting the church Wi-Fi under too much pressure. So we will get round to that, Andrew. Don't worry. What a wonderful, wonderful day. You've sent me the music, and I will get round to it next time. The penultimate pre-selected hymn choice tonight is, once I find it, there it's there. It is a hymn which was included in our final full online service at the weekend. The words are by John Keeble and others, and it is, "Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see our God." And there is a beautiful choir version of this, which I will look out and play for you one day. However, it's in our hymn books, "Blessed are the pure in heart," and it's got 2 different tunes. The tune that it is set to is Swabia, I think, which is lovely, but it's not the tune that we all know and love. So let's have a listen to Swabia first. It's arranged by William Henry Havergal from a melody from David Harfenspiel's Heidelberg of 1745. Blessed are the pure in heart. We're back to your hymn sheet if you're joining in that way. Now let's hear it in all its glorious 4-part harmony. Now, let's turn to the tune which we will all know, Blessed are the pure in heart, to in church. The tune is Franconia, again adapted by William Henry Havergal, and it is from a German series of hymn tunes from 1738. And Elspeth, Sheila, John, Tony perhaps, I'm not sure if you're singing along in parts, I'm paying a visit to the last verse book for this particular one. And it's not an out there last verse, and I have heard it be said that Noel Rosethorn, when he sticks to the original harmony, he's probably at his best. So there are slight tweaks in the harmony here, but it is more or less what's written in our hymn books. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see our God. One of the penultimate virtual choir items at Bellshill Central before we've opened up for worship. Well, I hope that venture into Noel's last verses wasn't too traumatic for our part singers. Our final item tonight isn't a request. It is slotted in by me, because I was looking through the top 10 hymns over the last 18 months, and this one was in the top 6. It probably would have been higher up had there not been so many versions of it. I have alluded to it in the introductions past, and Anne Guy has asked for it in the chat. It is "The Lord's my shepherd, I'll not want," to the tune of Crimond. And it's number 14 in your CH4s if you are using a hymn book. When you get to number 14 in the hymnal, you'll find that there are no less than 4, 5, 6 different versions of the 23rd Psalm. However, this has been one which is known and loved by millions of people for various different reasons. And John, I've just seen your little message in the chat. It's been good to have you in our virtual choir, when you've been able to join us, because I know that you're very busy, but to have a proper bass joining in makes all the difference. The Lord's my shepherd, I'll not want. Psalm 23, from the Scottish Psalter of 1929. The tune Crimond is a melody possibly by Jesse Seymour Irvine or David Grant, and it was harmonised by T.C.L. Pritchard, 1885 to 1960. I'm going to look something up before we finish tonight, because I'm sure he played at the opening recital of this organ back in 1930. So if somebody wants to look up the church website and look for the organ page, there's a downloadable PDF file, and there's also some information on the web page itself. Somebody have a look for that for me whilst they're enjoying Crimond, and we'll see if that connection is correct. And if it is, what a wonderful connection it is. We are finishing with the last verse by Noel Rosthorne in his 400 last verses. The Organist Entertains finished for episode 73. And whilst I am thinking about it, because nobody has sent me a message in the live chat, I am going to look up about our organ, which is on the music pages of the church website, and there's something called organ. Yes, There can't be very many people with this name. The organ here in Bellshill Central was designed and built by the Hillsdon Organ Company and installed in December 1930, with the dedication service and recital on Sunday the 28th of December of the same year, followed by an evening recital on Monday the 29th of December. The organist who performed at the opening services was Mr. T.C.L. Pritchard, who was organist of Belhaven Church in Glasgow. And what it says in here is that Pritchard was a prominent organist of the time and performed frequently at the Glasgow Kelvin Grove organ. And as an aside, the organ which he played at Belhaven Church was said to be particularly fine and costs over £1,100 by the Lewis and Co. Organ Company, which was half as much as the whole church. So, there you go. There's a bit of trivia for us this evening as the 73rd Organist Entertains comes to an end. Thank you everybody for tuning in and saying hello in the live chat. It's been good to have you with us tonight. We'll be back next week for episode 74, and hopefully that will be a pre-recorded episode, meaning that we can include even more of your requests and have the words moving up and down the screen. Thank you to everybody who's saying thank you to me in the chats. It's really good to know that you're enjoying yourselves, and it's good to have you involved. This seems to have gone without too much of a hiccup, and that is one of the things that I'm planning to do as our church reopens for worship, is that we perhaps do a bit less of the Organist Entertains, but still keep it on a regular cycle. And we could possibly do the odd live version from time to time, but only if you keep to a couple of hymn books and don't ask anything that's too difficult to play. So there is a link down below to the donate button for our congregation and parish. It takes you to the Church of Scotland website, and it's a safe and secure way to make a donation if you choose to do so. It comes straight to us here at Bellshill Central, and if you are still a taxpayer, you can also gift aid it. So, thank you folks, and it really is good night from me. That sounds a bit like the two Ronnies, doesn't it? But it is good night from me from episode 73. Stay safe and keep well, and we'll see you next week.